Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the We Know Ball podcast. My name is Matthew Shapiro, and unfortunately, Zach Krimsky could not make it here again today. He is touring the University of Indiana. He's a senior, so wish best of luck to him, and hopefully he can make it to the next episode on Tuesday. Let's get started here. So let's start with some breaking news, or just like top headlines from the past 24 hours. Not in the big four sports, but in golf, the Ryder Cup started earlier today, and Europe so far is up 3-1 over the U.S. Not looking too good for the Americans here. The only points that the U.S. got was Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay winning, and that's pretty much it. So let's go on to some NFL news. Who's playing, who's not. Brock Purdy starting versus the Jags, making his return. He missed 2 games. Mac Jones filled in his shoes pretty well, won both those games. Xavier Worthy playing for the first time since Travis Kelce took him out in week 1. Travis Kelce and Worthy collided on when they were crossing routes, and Worthy dislocated his shoulder and was out for the past 2 weeks. He actually has 0 targets and 0 receptions on the season. Let's see if that can change versus Baltimore. And news for the Washington Commanders. They will be without Jayden Daniels, their star quarterback, and their star receiver, Terry McLaurin, both inactive for Sunday versus Atlanta. So let's see if Marcus Mariota can step up for the second straight week and get the job done versus Atlanta. In Sixers news, there's 2 things I want to address here. Jared McCain, unfortunately, suffered a dislocated UCL in his thumb, so we're not sure if he's going to be ready to go for the start of the season, which is in less than a month. But it's not the biggest injury. It is in his shooting hand, but just hope that McCain can get healthy fast, and be ready for the season opener. In other Sixers news, there is no timeline for the returns of Joel Embiid and Paul George. They are both still unsure when they are returning. We'll see if they're even available for the season opener. Hopefully all 3 of those guys are. Hopefully McCain, George, and especially Joel, the process, Embiid, are all ready for the season opener. So let's go over some of my NFL predictions for Sunday and Monday. There's 2 games on Monday. So yesterday, first, before we do the predictions, let's talk about the Cardinals versus the Seahawks last night. The Seahawks beat the Cardinals 23-20. Jake Myers had a 50... Sorry, not Jake Myers. That's the player on the Astros. Sorry, Jason Myers, the Seahawks kicker, hit a game-winning field goal. I believe it was 52 yards to beat the Cardinals last night. The Seahawks, led by Sam Darnold, who threw 2 passing touchdowns. 2? Yeah. AJ Barner caught 1. And, actually only been 1. Might have been 1. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. I don't have the score sheet in front of me, but Sam Darnold had a very outstanding game. Zach Charbonnet filled in very well as the sort of in the mixed backfield between him and Kenneth Walker. They both played very well, but Charbonnet got the touchdown. Jackson Smith and Jigba early in the first half. 0 receptions, but turned it around in the second half. He had a few big catches, including the one on the game-winning drive where they got him into field goal range for Jason Myers to kick that game-winning field goal. So the Cardinals, Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. looked like they were not on the same page in the first half, but in the second half they turned it around. Marvin Harrison Jr. caught a great touchdown pass. He dropped one earlier that led to a Kyler Murray interception, which was not Murray's fault. But, Marv had a very outstanding second half, caught a very good touchdown over Devin Witherspoon. He jumped up and mossed him, basically. And he had a big catch on the drive that took the Cardinals to tie the game when Mario DiMercato scored with 33 seconds left. Marv had a very big catch on that drive, and and then DeMercado scored a touchdown, tying the game at 20 with 33 seconds remaining. But, the new kickoff rule, which I am not a fan of whatsoever. I hate that no matter what, it goes to 35. It's just ridiculous. It just gives them a big chance just to go down in 20 seconds. All they need, if they're at the 35, it actually ended up being the 40 because Chad Ryland, the Cardinals kicker, missed the mark where you have to get it in order to be. I'm not explaining this well, but there's like a line where you have to kick it. It has to be past the line in order for it to be to the 35-yard line, and he missed the line, so it ended up going to the 40. So all they needed was seriously 20 yards, maybe even 15 yards to kick a field goal. But it was just not. I'm not a fan of those rules at all. But let's go over some my predictions this week. We have a doubling game this week. We have the first time ever. We have a game in Dublin, Ireland. It's usually in London. It's usually in Manchester, I believe they have before. They even had one in Madrid 2 years ago, and I think last year as well. But we have the Steelers facing off against the Vikings in Dublin, Ireland. Aaron Rodgers, Steelers quarterback, says he loves Dublin and wishes they went there sooner rather than in 2025 when Rodgers is 41 years old. But I believe the Steelers will take care of business against Carson Wentz and the Vikings. The Vikings looked so impressive last week, but it could be a fluke. Jake Browning threw a few picks. They fumbled the ball a bunch of times. There's no way they'll have that defensive performance they had from last week. And I believe the Steelers, on a neutral site, will beat the Minnesota Vikings. Let's take it to Tampa Bay here. We have my Philadelphia Eagles facing off against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Bucs have our number over the past couple of years. They lost 3 in a row to the 2 in a row. This could be the third. 3 out of the last 4 they lost to Tampa Bay, including last season during the regular season in Week 4, which is the last loss before the Eagles won 19 out of 20 games. They beat us in the playoffs in the 2023 season to end that terrible collapse. The Eagles did beat them in the regular season in 2023, and then the Bucs beat us also in 2021 on Thursday Night Football. It was Zach Ertz's last game as an Eagle. It's my ball knowledge showing off right there. And then in 2018, Week 2 after the Eagles won the Super Bowl, they lost to Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay. It was not Jameis Winston. He was suspended for the first 4 games that season. It was Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Deshaun Jackson connected a bunch of times that season in the first 4 games before Winston came back. And similar to a Daniel Jones situation, Fitzpatrick was great then. But let's get back on track here. Let's go over some of these rest of these games. So I believe the Eagles will beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. No Mike Evans. Chris Godwin is possibly playing. He's still questionable. Baker Mayfield's questionable. He's been sacked a bunch of times lately, so he is all banged up. Tristan Wirfs, their star offensive tackle, is also questionable. So we'll see if both those guys play. And if they don't play, obviously I'm taking the Eagles. And if they do play, I'm still taking the Birds, God, I have faith in my boys. And Hurts looked outstanding last week. If they can open the offense more, elevate the passing game a little bit more. Sorry, I said elevate. Elevate the passing game a little bit more like they did last week in the second half. I believe the Eagles will destroy the Bucs, especially if the Bucs offense isn't doing much without Mike Evans and Tristan Wirfs and maybe even Baker Mayfield. So let's go to the Commanders versus the Atlanta Falcons. Even without Jayden Daniels, even without Terry McLaurin, I believe the Commanders will beat the Falcons. Mariota looked great last week in his season debut versus the Las Vegas Raiders. He threw for a touchdown and ran for one, along with beating them by a huge margin of victory. And I believe the Falcons don't look great right now. They lost 30-0 last week to the Carolina Panthers. Michael Penix is on the cusp of getting benched. Raheem Morris said he's not, but that means nothing at all. but I believe the Washington Commanders will beat the Atlanta Falcons even without superstar sophomore quarterback Jayden Daniels and Terry McLaurin. So let's implement something here. Every single week, I will do a lock of the week and an upset of the week. Similar to like a survivor pool, I can only pick the team once. So week 1, I did my picks without, obviously, this podcast. So week 1, I chose the Eagles to beat the Cowboys, which hit. Week 2, I chose the Cowboys to beat the Giants, which hit. Unfortunately, that was a very scary one, and I almost lost there. Week 3, I chose the Seattle Seahawks to beat the New Orleans Saints. That hit by a lot. In week 4, I'm taking the Buffalo Bills to beat the New Orleans Saints as my lock of the week. A lot of people took the Packers last week to beat the Browns. I did not, and I got lucky that the Seahawks took care of business by a lot last week and didn't get upsetted like the Packers did. So I'm taking the Bills. No need to explain. The Saints look terrible. Spencer Rattler is not the guy. Tyler Shuck, probably not the guy either. They have one of the worst offenses in the league. It just does not look good for the Saints, and their future is not bright whatsoever. And the Bills, obviously, led by the best player in the football, Josh Allen. Another possible lock, but one I'm not taking this one. The Lions to beat the Cleveland Browns. The Lions looked great last week and 2 weeks ago, putting back-to-back 52 and 38 points on the board. The Lions, they just look great right now. They are on top of the world. Jared Goff, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. That offense is clicking at its finest right now. Even without Ben Johnson, it looks like it's no problem. Dan Campbell and the boys look like another team to be one of these top contenders. The week 1 loss to the Packers looks like it's meaning nothing to them. Blew out the Bears, beat the Ravens pretty easily. I'm taking the Lions here to whoop Cleveland's butt. Titans, Texans, both 0-3 teams. Texans, hopefully, they can get the job done, get their first win of the season. I believe they will. Cam Ward does not look good at all. The Tennessee Titans have just looked terrible. They're changing their play calling duties, but I don't believe that will change a thing. The Texans are supposed to be a pretty solid team, and with no wins so far this season, that should definitely change here against a weak Tennessee Titans team. So I believe the Houston Texans will win by a pretty large margin in week 4. Now we have my upset of the week. The upset, in order to be an upset, they have to be the team I'm picking against has to be favorite by 4 points or more. So the Carolina Panthers are 5.5-point underdogs against the New England Patriots this Sunday. Then I believe the Carolina Panthers will beat the Patriots. Even if the Patriots were not favored, I would still take that easily. The Panthers won by a large margin of victory last week. Like I said, beat the Falcons 30-0. The Patriots turned the ball over way too many times for me to choose them ever again, honestly. I picked them last week. Can't believe I did that. I'm not a fan of them. Drake May is overrated in my opinion. He looks solid, but like the Patriots, they're just not good at all. They have no weapons in offense at all except Hunter Henry. The receiver room is terrible. Trevian Henderson has not done anything so far. Ramondre Stevenson is the biggest fumble. He fumbles the ball more than anybody I've ever seen, ever. Their defense is weak. The Patriots are the most overrated team in the NFL, in my opinion, and the Panthers will take care of business. And it'll be my lock of the week to beat the New England Patriots. 5.5 is crazy, though, after the Panthers won by so much last week and the Patriots lost to the Steelers. But, guess the bet makers know more than I do, so. Now we have a big matchup here. Jackson Dart, his first NFL start against the elite Chargers defense. This could be another lock. The Chargers, they're gonna kill the Giants. Jackson Dart might get sacked 40 times. And, I believe the Chargers will, honestly, maybe even shut out the Giants. I cannot see this Giants offense scoring a single touchdown with Jackson Dart, the rookie, starting at quarterback. No Tyrone Tracy either. Neighbors is all banged up. And the Chargers, led by Justin Herbert, the elite receiver room, and rookie running back Amari Hampton, will get the job done pretty easily on the road in New York. Now we have the shock of the season, the Indianapolis Colts, led by Indiana Jones. Danny Dimes, baby. my boy Daniel Jones versus the Los Angeles Rams, 3-0 versus 2-1. And I believe the Colts will continue their hot streak and beat the Rams on the road here to get to 4-0 in the season. Not many people are liking that pick, but I'm not one of those people. I believe Indiana Jones, star running back who's been probably the best player in football besides Josh Allen this year, Jonathan Taylor. You have a really underrated receiver room, in my opinion, with Michael Pittman Jr., Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, A.D. Mitchell. They have a very strong defense so far this year. And I believe that the Indianapolis Colts will take care of business on the road in Inglewood, California, to beat the Los Angeles Rams. Next up, we have another 4 o'clock game here. The Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to San Francisco to take the San Francisco 49ers on. And this is another upset I'm taking. It's not my upset of the week. That was the Panthers. But I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars, with Trevor Lawrence, will beat the San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers lost Nick Bosa. He's out for the season. The running back room of Travis Etienne and Bishal Tutin will explode this game. Brian Thomas Jr. will have a bounce-back game, hopefully getting to the end zone. He's been terrible so far this year. After he took one suicide ball from Mac Jones from Trevor Lawrence in preseason, he's not trusted Lawrence since, and he's had 3 really rough weeks in a row. But I believe that will change, and Brian Thomas Jr. will have his first big game here in the 2025 season. It would be funny if Mac Jones was playing, because Brian Thomas really broke out last year with Mac Jones at the helm as his quarterback. But it's Brock Purdy. He's playing for the first time since week 1. I'm not sure if he's healthy or not. There's no George Kittle still. Juwan Jennings is questionable. Ricky Pearsall, McCaffrey, both playing, obviously. And Purdy's playing, but we'll see what Purdy can do with this lesser version of a good offense that he's seen before. So we'll see if the Niners can take him here, but I believe the Jacksonville Jaguars will win. They are 3.5-point underdogs, but I don't believe that will matter. I think the Jags will win. Next up, we have the game of the week, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens. Both, shockingly, are both only 1-2, but the Chiefs look terrible. The Ravens look good still, besides Derrick Henry fumbling a few times. I believe that the Baltimore Ravens will take care of business pretty easily versus the Kansas City Chiefs here. The Chiefs' offense has just looked dreadful. Worthy's back. We'll see if that can change anything, but their receiver room without Rashee Rice is just hard to watch. It's led by Tyquan Thornton. Hollywood Brown, who's a little shaken up. Worthy, who's probably still a little beaten up. He is playing, but I don't even know if that will matter, honestly. The Ravens' offense will, hopefully, and I believe, will decimate the Chiefs. It doesn't matter how good the Chiefs' defense is. Lamar can do his thing. Derrick Henry will hopefully finally have a good day again. Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and Mark Andrews finally broke out last week for the first time this season. I think the Ravens will win pretty easily here against the Kansas City Chiefs. Here's another 4 o'clock game. The last 4 o'clock game here is the Chicago Bears taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders have disappointed so far this year. Geno Smith has not looked very good. Week 2 especially, he was one of the worst quarterback performances I've ever seen. Geno Smith looked god-awful. Ashton Denty's done nothing so far this season. He was supposed to be an elite running back. It's only been 3 games. I can't really judge him on his 3 games, but he's not looked good at all. Jacoby Myers. Oh, I just spit. Oh. Jacoby Myers has been solid so far. Brock Bowers a little disappointing. Trey Tucker is the only bright spot in that offense so far this year. He had a huge game this past week. I believe 8 for 145 and 3 touchdowns. Unbelievable for Trey Tucker. He's the biggest climber of the week in fantasy football. He's now rostered in almost half the leagues on the ESPN app. But Trey Tucker, great start to the season. That won't matter. The Chicago Bears looked elite last week. Caleb Williams is the quarterback 3 in fantasy. He's having a pretty solid season and a great season in fantasy. The receiver room with DJ Moore, Rome Odunze, and Luther Burton finally breaking out last week. They are a team to look out for to be a sleeper pick to make the playoffs this year. They looked pretty miserable in the first 2 games, especially in that week 2 loss at Detroit, 52-21, disgraceful loss. Ben Johnson finally looking like his lion self last week, drawing up some elite play calls with that flea flicker to Luther Burton. Swift is a great running back to have in that backfield, great experience, and I believe the Chicago Bears will win also pretty easily here to take and beat the Las Vegas Raiders. Now we're going on to Sunday night here. We have Micah Parsons going against his former team in the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. The Green Bay Packers will beat the Dallas Cowboys also, I believe, pretty easily. Both teams were favorite last week and both lost. Packers obviously losing in that game-winning field goal to the Cleveland Browns, and the Cowboys losing to the Chicago Bears. Both were favorite and both lost. But I believe the Packers are still one of the top teams in the NFL and will beat the Dallas Cowboys pretty easily. No CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens is going to have to step up a huge time. He's going to have to step up big time. We'll see if he can do that. I don't know if Pickens is capable of being a receiver one in a good offense, but I believe the Packers, despite CeeDee Lamb, even if CeeDee Lamb played, I would still pick the Packers in this game. Their defense is unbelievable. Parsons said that it's going to be painful to sack Dak Prescott, which means he's going to sack Dak Prescott at least once, if not two, if not three, maybe even more. Micah Parsons wants that revenge, and Jerry Jones is going to take his frustration out on Dak Prescott and beat the Dallas Cowboys. Now we're going on to the double-headed Monday Night Football game. At 7:15, we have the battle of the 0-3s, the defeateds. The Miami Dolphins facing off against the New York Jets. Tua Tagovailoa versus possibly Justin Fields, possibly Tyrod Taylor. But I believe no matter what, the Miami Dolphins will get their first win of the season. They looked pretty solid last week. Despite the loss, they played well the entire game against the one of the top teams in the league, the Buffalo Bills. Besides Tua, his interception at the end, which was really stupid, should have just took his time a little bit, but they look solid. They look comfortable in offense the entire time. Achane looked great. Ollie Gordon started to go in that offense. Tyreek Hill and Waddle have both been very solid so far this year. I believe the Dolphins are still besides their Week 1 travesty loss to the Colts 33-8. Week 2 they looked pretty bad against the Patriots, but they look good in Week 3. And I believe they will keep that sort of momentum going on, and they will beat the New York Jets here at home. In the last game here, we have the 8:15 Monday night game. The Denver Broncos facing off against Jake Browning. Yeah, Jake Browning and the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah, this is an easy pick. Give me the Broncos by 50. The Bengals looked like the worst team I've ever seen last week. They fumbled the ball like 3 times. Jake Browning threw like 3 interceptions. They turned the ball over basically every time they touched the ball. There's no change in that here. The Bengals also have the worst defense in the league, probably. The Broncos might put up 50, and the Broncos might not give up a single point here because they also probably have the best defense in all football. I'm taking the Broncos. I'm taking Broncos. I'm putting the house on the Denver Broncos to cover whatever that spread is. I'm putting this house, I'm putting everything that the Denver Broncos will cover that game. Mark my words. I know ball. Let's go over here to some MLB talk. The playoffs start soon. Very soon. Very, very, very soon. There's 1 slate left in the regular season. Each team has 3 games left, except the Cubs beat the Cardinals today 12-1, so they have 2 games left. Everybody else has 3 games left. So let's go over the current playoff picture. The Blue Jays are on top of the AL. They're 91-68. They are tied with the Yankees for that top spot. The Yankees do not have the tiebreaker. The Blue Jays have the tiebreaker over the Yankees. Yankees play Baltimore. Blue Jays play Tampa Bay. I believe that the Yankees will surpass the Blue Jays and get that top spot in the AL. Mariners 2. That seems to be a lock. They could jump up to 1, honestly, but their ceiling is 1. Their floor is 2. They're not falling past 2. Guardians at 3 right now. They are 86-73, tied with the Detroit Tigers, who had the biggest collapse I've ever seen in professional sports. Very similar to the 2023 Eagles, but the Tigers honestly might be even worse because they were at top of the AL, top of the, not even just the AL. They had the best record in all of baseball with the best pitcher in all of baseball, Tariq Skubal. They just completely hit a wall and just fell down. But they are still in the current playoff picture. They are number 6 tied with the Guardians at 86 and 73. The Tigers play the Red Sox, which is a huge game because the Red Sox are only one game above the Tigers at 87 and 72. And the Astros are right below both of them as this current 7 seed, which is not in the playoffs. The top 6 make it. So the Astros are 85 and 74. They play the Angels, which should be a fairly easy sweep for them if they're trying to get into that last spot. So my predictions, we're going Yankees 1, Mariners 2. This is crucial. We're going to go, we'll go Guardians 3 still. Blue Jays 4. Red Sox 5. Tigers 6. I believe the Astros will not make it, and I believe that, no, this isn't right. I got to do something about this. You know what? Tigers, they're not making the playoffs. Give me the Astros at 6 and the Tigers complete the biggest collapse in all of professional sports history and fall out of the playoffs. In the NL, it's all pretty set right now. The Brewers are at 1, the Phillies are at 2, Dodgers are at 3, Cubs 4, Padres 5. The only thing that is up for debate right now is the Mets are at 6. They are 1 game above the Reds, who are at 7, and the Reds are 1 game above the Diamondbacks, who are at 8. The Diamondbacks do play the Padres, which will be a tough matchup, especially since the Padres are only 3 games below the Dodgers. They're still trying to catch them for that 3 seed, which probably will not happen. I'm not sure who's the tiebreaker there, so it might not even matter, honestly. But the D-backs, I thought as of last week when they beat the Phillies in the series that they will definitely make the playoffs. But they lost the series to the Dodgers 2-1, and they are looking not in the right direction right now. And the Mets, who just came off of a big series win against the Chicago Cubs, I believe will beat the Marlins in at least 2 out of the 3 games and make the playoffs. Okay, let's go over to, actually, we'll stay in the MLB. We'll talk about the home run guys. Cal Raleigh hit his 60th homer the other day, 2 in 1 game. That was one of the craziest days in baseball history, honestly. Cal Raleigh hit 2 homers to go from 58 to 60. Kyle Schwarber hit 2 homers to go from 54 to 56. Aaron Judge hit 2 homers to go from 49 to 51. And Phillies shortstop Edmundo Sosa hit 3 homers on Wednesday night. What a crazy day of baseball, along with Clayton Kershaw pitching his first game in the bullpen in a long, long time. And the Diamondbacks losing that game to the Dodgers in crazy fashion. They were down 4-0 going into the 8th inning and then ended up tying the game in the 8th, but losing in the 10th, or losing in the 11th, I believe. It was a crazy game that I had to stay up for to watch until I couldn't anymore. But, yeah, the Dodgers won that game and yeah, that's pretty much it there. Let's go over to Penn State football takes on Oregon tomorrow at 7:30 in the whiteout game. We are, baby. James Franklin needs to get this win. This is huge for Penn State. Enough of the notes here. I'm talking face-to-face to the audience here. Penn State has not won a big game in so long, and I'm tired of it. James Franklin, you need to get this job done. You need to get this freaking win, dude. You haven't beat a big team since Ohio State in 2016, whatever that was, when Grant Haley blocked the field goal. And that was all luck. I'm sorry, Penn State did not deserve to make the playoffs that year, and they did not, which was deserved. But, yeah. If James Franklin does not win this game, I want him gone after the season. I want him gone. Oregon is traveling 2,000 miles to Penn State to play in the biggest, most craziest environment in all of sports in the whiteout game. It's not even, even if it wasn't the whiteout game, they're still going to Happy Valley, which is the biggest, craziest environment, and we're going to multiply that by 30 in the whiteout game on primetime on NBC at 7:30 p.m. If they don't win this game, if Penn State, they have to be, all they have to be is just a little bit better than Oregon. They don't even have to be better than Oregon. They have everything on their side here. They have all the fans. They have the fact that Oregon just traveled across the country. Penn State, if they don't win this game, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to be so upset. I might not talk to anybody for the next 3 days. I might not even get out of bed. I might be that depressed that Penn State won't win this game. So James Franklin, if you're listening to this, which I assume you are not because I have 2 subscribers right now, James Franklin, get your fucking shit together, dude, and win this game. Come on. We are.